Welcome to this special episode of Not Just Crew. It's quite a sensitive one today, and we weren't even sure if we were going to show it. So I'm pretty much going to hand over to Simon. As I say, it's a subject that may have touched some of you personally. So yeah, we've got a couple of the links in the description below. Once again, just please like and subscribe to us, just so you can keep up with any updates.
Morning. The date is the 7th of August 2022. My name is Simon Costello, and my wife has recently been diagnosed with bowel cancer. It's as blunt as that. On the 25th of July, my wife went in for an endoscopy, which is exploratory camera procedure. She'd been having pains off and on for 2 months. She'd been for this exploratory investigation, and they found a growth, and they suspected that it was cancer. So on the 25th of July, our worlds were turned upside down. Be quiet there. I haven't had a chance to speak properly with anyone, or just little bits of conversation with people, family and friends, work colleagues. But if this, as I say, can help anybody out there, any husbands of partners or wives who are experiencing or going through the same horrendous news, then I hope this can help. So she went for this endoscopy. They found the growth. They took samples for it. They sent them off for biopsy just to see if it was cancer, which after a while it was confirmed. We had a CT scan. She had a CT scan a couple of days later, managed to get a cancellation. The good news was that it hadn't spread, that it was all contained. It was the size of a butter bean. That's what it looked like on the camera. But that moment when I dropped her off for this routine procedure and went away, did a bit of shopping, came back, got a call to see if she was ready. And then something I kind of suspected wasn't right when I'd actually gone to get her, and there was an hour delay for us actually getting in to see her. When they did say that I could go through and see her, just to see her lying there on the bed, looking so vulnerable, clearly distressed, upset, I knew something wasn't right. So I obviously asked her straight away, was everything okay? What's wrong? And she told us that the consultant thought and suspected that it could be cancer, but it wasn't confirmed, obviously. And just to hold her hand and just to sit there by her side and just see her upset, and your head spins, you're not really taking it in, you're thinking it can't be right. It's like, what are you going to do? I was lucky enough to see the images, and you could see it clear as crystal. And then obviously, I just want to get her home. I just want to get her home. I want to get her out of there, and I want to give her a cuddle. I want to tell her that everything's going to be okay. But of course, you don't know that, do you? You don't know that for sure, because you don't know what you're facing. You don't know the extent of it. You don't even know if it's cancer at that stage. You're kind of hoping you're hoping it's not, that they've made a mistake and then it's going to come back and it's all right. But anyway, got the CT scan results. Like I said, hadn't spread. Good news. We're just waiting for the call to see if it was cancer. Anyway, your worst fears are confirmed a few days later. It is cancer. And they've got this program ahead of you of like treatment before the surgery. You're given a date for the surgery, which is the 23rd of August, which seems really good, positive, that things are moving fast. My wife suffers from low blood pressure, so she was told that she needs iron fusion, so she needs to get her iron levels up to get her blood pressure up so she can have the best possible kind of like fight in her so she can withstand any procedures that are undergoing. Obviously, we got out of there. It's just your head spinning. You don't know what to say. Do you say anything? If you say nothing, then what good is that to your wife? So you're treading on eggshells. You're in shock. It's shock is what it is. We had to go home and obviously tell our family, tell our daughter, tell our close friends the news. Obviously, breaking the news to your daughters is never going to be easy. So she was away. We got back to the house. I went to go and pick my daughter up, knowing that I've got to deliver this news to her. Everything's normal in her world. She's had a great time. She's been away. She's been out shopping with her friends, and I'm going to deliver this news to her. So before we entered back in the house, turned the engine off in the car, sat in the drive, and told her the news. I didn't use the C word more than once. I said it could be, might not be. Started using the word growth because it just seems easier to use growth than cancer. Just does somehow. Whether it's you're hiding away from it, and if you don't see it, then it isn't real. I really don't know. Obviously, straight away she was upset. We embraced. There was tears, and I just can't begin to imagine what's going through her head. I try and put myself in that situation as a 13-year-old, being delivered the news that your mother has cancer, and how I would react and respond and behave, what my reactions would be. You're thinking of other people. You're not really thinking how it's affecting you, because you've just got to deal with it. You've got to get on with it. You've got this problem in front of you. You've got a wife who hasn't a clue what the hell's going on, but you're kind of thinking how you're going to deliver this news to other people and how they're going to react. You're not really processing yourself and how you're going to cope with it, because you don't. It's life, isn't it? You just get on with it. Whatever punches are thrown your way, you deflect them and you get on with it. You just do. What else is there to do? You've just got to move forward. You can't turn back time. You can't turn the clock back. You can't undo what's happening. You've got to deal with it. Obviously, the next few days, you're in a state of shock still. I just want everything to move forward. I want the CAT scan. I want the eye infusion. I want the surgery. I want everything to be done. We want this thing out. We want it out. It's an unwelcome piece of shit that has entered your life that you only ever hear happening to other people. You'll be surprised how many people suffer from cancer. It's not an isolated incident. They say 2 in 1 of us are touched by it in our lives at some point. I work for the emergency services. I see a lot of people suffering from it. And I know a lot of family and friends who've lost loved ones because of it, specifically within the airline industry as well. It seems to be a very common occurrence with not necessarily the best outcome. But I know people who have recovered from it, so that gives you hope. Anyway, like I said, the good news was that it hadn't spread and it was contained. So we got that news on the 29th of July, confirming that it was cancer. Now, last Friday, we went along to see the surgeon who would perform the surgery to get more information. Now, you probably see those adverts on the telly where like patients with cancer are sitting in front of somebody and they delivered the news that it definitely is cancer. It's exactly what that is. You're sitting there, you've got this person in front of you, and you're just waiting to hear what they've got to say. Now, I couldn't help but think at that point in time he had some additional information to tell us. I was preparing myself for another shock to say that it was worse than what it was. Thank God he never delivered those words. What he did deliver was reassurance and positivity that he'd done this procedure hundreds of times. He showed us exactly where the cancer was. It was in the large bowel, so it was very far into the bowel as it goes in, around, up and along and down. It was in that area there, so really, really far into the bowel. So thank God the camera went that far in to find the root of the problem. Now, he was asking my wife like what symptoms she had before that. So we basically said about the pain. Now, this is when you kind of think that somebody's watching over you, because he said that the pains that she was having was not related at all to the cancer. So in a nutshell, if she wasn't having those pains, that could have gone undetected for years, got worse, spread, festered away, just rotting there, just doing its evil, and it could have been a lot worse. So, oh my, like, we can't believe it. We can't believe it. Like, you know, we take that as a sign and a positive one. It's absolutely shit. It's absolutely shit to see somebody who you love so much going through this terrible news. Your whole family, your friends, like the wife's family. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. But we are positive people. We always have been. And as I say, you've got to move forward, and you've got to just take this by the scruff of the neck and fight it every step of the way. Because what choice have you got? What choice have you got? Just get on, just moving forward, continue with everyday life, and that's exactly what she's doing. She doesn't like to talk about it, and I do like to talk about things. I like to ask about, like, you know, what's the next appointment, who's it with, what's it about. She doesn't like to talk about it too much. In fact, she doesn't like to talk about it at all, and I get told off for nagging. And I've also said to anybody who's in our family, especially my daughters, any questions whatsoever, then please come to me and ask us. There's no silly question. I'll be open and honest, and I'll answer them as best as I can. And if I don't have the answers, then I'll find out the answers for them. So it's going to be keyhole surgery. It's going in near the belly button. It is going to be a 2-hour procedure. She may not need keyhole surgery, but once the cancer is removed, then we'll know more from that stage. It's basically being explained to us. We'll take one phase at a time. First one is the surgery. Get rid of this cancer. Get rid of the growth. Next step, we'll just see what follows after that. What I will say to you, anybody who is in or lived in my, or is living in my shoes, is that the strength of your family and friends is absolutely unbelievable, and the support is unwavering. And I don't like to have conversations because I feel as if I'm repeating myself and telling the same story over again. And it gets harder to kind of like keep saying these things, what you're going through, or like what your wife's going through. But without my family and friends, then I think I truly feel lost. As I say, I know loads of people who are and have suffered from cancer, and I've heard their stories, But like, you just hear those stories and you can't help but feel for the individual who's suffering and their family. And now it's actually happening to us. It's absolutely, it's a shit pie that nobody wants to take a slice out of. So I'll keep you updated, just to let you know everything is okay. Our family is strong. We're going to get on with it. We're going to deal with it, and we're going to get rid of it. And if this, what I'm telling you now, is of any support and any help at all, or you're experiencing the exact same thing, then listen, you're not alone. Okay? You're not alone. There's a massive support network out there. The NHS have been absolutely fantastic. The nurse who's looking after the wife's case is amazing. She's so caring. I think it kind of hit home a little bit with her because she's of the same age as us. And obviously when you've got like young children involved, she kind of like, she understands that it must be really difficult. My wife went for the fusion, it's the iron fusion the other day, and she said she was the youngest person in there by a country mile. Everyone was quite old, but like with the same like optimism and cheery like self that she is. She's gone in and she's like, they're all sitting there, the old tears, and she's like, morning everyone okay? She just can't help, that's just the way she is. She's a positive person, and she can brighten up anybody's day, anybody's life. And I'm just to let you know that I've been with this woman for over 20 years now, and I wouldn't be the person that I am without her. I'd be lost without her. I don't think I could cope without you. Yeah, you've supported me through so many things over the last 20 years. And marrying you was the best thing that I'll ever do or ever have done in my life. And I'm there for you. And doesn't matter what it takes, I'll always be there for you because I love you. So I'll keep you all posted. And yeah, just be strong. Be strong, everybody. And take care. So guys, just to keep you updated on what's happening as regards to my wife and the process post-surgery. Fortunately, the surgery happened last Tuesday, so that's it's a week today. The surgery took place, and the surgery went really well, although there's still a lot of restrictions in place at the hospital. The visitation kind of policy was like only 2 people are allowed in the hospital for 1 hour a day, and it has to be the same people for the duration of that stay in the hospital. So I was able to obviously get in there and see my wife, see how she was. Obviously very tired, still in a lot of pain on the morphine to ease the pain, and in and around the abdominal area. But yeah, it was so good to see her and actually speak to her, even though like we're still kind of like in the dark to the full extent where we've got all the facts post-surgery. We will know more this Friday, which is in 3 days time, because they review the case. I know the surgeon reviews the case with his fellow colleagues just to see if there is any spread or any further like work needs to be undertaken. So we will hopefully know more this Friday. But the positives are that my wife is making a good recovery. Everything's working as it should be. She's still in a lot of discomfort, but she was allowed to come home on the Friday, which was absolutely amazing, because as much as like the hospital is brilliant, you don't get much rest within that hospital, because obviously nurses keep coming in and having to assess you and make sure you're all right and take your obs and stuff. So she luckily I was able to pick her up on Friday, bring her home, and I've been able to look after her with my daughter. And she does need a tinzaparin injection, which I administer myself around between 4 and 5 o'clock every day, and that's a blood thinner, just to make sure everything's no clots will occur. So she has 25 of those injections, one a day. So that's fun. She enjoys me doing that. But listen, if I can help out in any way, other than just obviously do what I need to do at home and look after her and get her whatever she needs, then that's what you do, isn't it? You know, it's I find myself in a lucky position where I can actually do these things for her. The overwhelming support from family and friends has been amazing, and that gets you through as well. So thank you so much. And yeah, just to let you know that my youngest daughter's fine. It's her birthday in a couple of weeks' time. She's managing and she's coping okay. Obviously we're looking after each other, and yeah, so everything so far is going well. Just like I say, the support from people who I know who are going through cancer, or you know, have recovered from cancer, and just their experiences helps so much. It's amazing how people, like, you know, can just come forward. Certain individuals who I know so well. Thank you so much. But yeah, I will keep you posted. Obviously, when I know more on after Friday, I'll let you all know how that goes. But yeah, so far so good. Take care. Okay, right. I've just had to come out of the house because just because my wife doesn't like me. I don't think she, anyway, I don't know. But listen, just had some incredible news. I made an excuse to come get some food shopping at Lidl's, but we've just had some amazing news as regards to my wife's surgery post the cancer that was removed. Like I say, she was discharged from hospital last Friday. Had the surgery a week on Tuesday, but the phone call was the best possible phone call that we could ever wish to receive. And it was the fact that the cancer has been completely removed. There's no signs of cancer in and around the area where it was in the large bowel. No further treatment required, so no chemotherapy and radiotherapy. The cancer it's gone down as a class A, which is the best possible outcome after the surgery. Obviously, she'll still have to be monitored over the 5 years. We've got another meeting in 6 weeks just to check up. Any questions that we have, then there's just a phone call away. The support team there at Rake Lane North Tyneside General Hospital is absolutely amazing. So big shout out to Kelly, who's one of the nurses there, who's been looking after us both. She has been incredible. Obviously, we've received this amazing news, so there was a lot of emotions going on at home, and it's very weird because even though it's the best news, my wife feels like she's been a bit of a fraud for some reason. I totally get it, because obviously from finding out that you had cancer and receiving the news, you think your whole world's collapsed. And then I would say within 7 weeks of it being first diagnosed, having the scans, having the surgery, and then getting the news today that you're cancer free, it's been a pretty much an absolute hurricane whirlwind of emotions in this last 7 weeks. And now she's had this news. I think it's because we know so many people who have suffered or suffering for cancer, and it goes on for years. So I totally get why she's feeling like that, but I've spoken to her and I've said, look, just concentrate on this amazing news and just enjoy it. It just, incidentally, it happens to be the wife's dad's birthday today, Stuart, so the best
birthday present he could ever wish for, I'm sure. But yeah, we've just got to concentrate on this news, this incredible news, and just like keep everything crossed for everybody else who out there who is suffering. But we've got to take, all the positives from this and obviously relay them to yourselves, because obviously if you first do get diagnosed with cancer, you do think it's the end of the world and that the outcome's not going to be a good one. But I guess what this video is demonstrating is that the outcome's not always the worst. There is good news, and it can come quite quickly. And so just use this as maybe a bit of a light to shine on like whatever you're going through. If you first do get diagnosed with cancer, just make sure you have people around you that give you the support that you need. We've been lucky where we have. And if there's nothing in and around your family and friends area, then there is within the NHS, there's plenty of organisations you can go to, and they give you all the information that you need to get the support that you're looking for. But incredible day today. I'm so proud of me little wife, little Rocky Balboa I call her. She's me little bear. She's an absolute fighter. She's been incredible, and I can't begin to imagine what she's been going through these last few weeks, this last month and a half, having this burden like on top of her, and just getting on with things and being strong for us all, because she's my true hero. Like all of you guys out there who are going through this the same or worse, yous are all heroes. Just keep strong, keep reaching out to people. But in particular, my wife, Stephanie Costello, you're a Wonder Woman. You're a Wonder Woman, and you just never fail to like outstand me. You're incredible. Thank you so much for staying with us and still being my wife. And have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll keep you posted on if there's any further developments. Take care.